Ukiah, California. Tell me about his style, Bo.
Well, Jeff is one of the original crankers or power players that came out on a tour with Roth and Holman. He throws the big hook ball. He depends on staying wide. He depends on real good carry at the back end. And when he gets hot, David, just almost Katie bar the door. He strikes almost every time.
He was so hot last night in the finals. Boy, just amazing.
260 in the last 5 games with a 287 climax.
He was really awkward at the line there. I don't know whether we're going to be able to see that again or not. I guess we are. Why was he so awkward at the line?
Jeff has a history of having a little trouble with approaches and with spares. And the combination of the two right here, he slips a little bit on the foul line. His shoulders were behind the foul line. His shoulders were too far forward. David lets it get away, slides right by the 2-pin, open the door for young Weber in the first frame.
Started that just like he did the last match. Good pocket hit and left the 10.
Keep it wide, keep it out of trouble. But with that powerful ball that Pete Weber and Jeff Mattingly throw, if they can keep the ball in the light or thin pocket, don't go up high in the nose, David, they're going to get a lot of strikes and some big scores.
And you're going to avoid splits that way, aren't you?
Definitely, except for the real light split we saw in the first match where you have the 2-8-10 or the 2-10.
Weber was plus 11 because Mike knows you should not miss that, and he didn't.
Weber throws quite a bit harder at spares, and that's really a good idea, a good tip to take for anyone, is that you just have to touch the spare to knock it over, and Jeff Mattingly knows that as he went by the 2-pin last frame. You need that extra speed. Somewhere up around 20 miles an hour that ball was thrown by young Weber, and the average strike ball, David, is around 18 for ideal strike carry.
We may be having a young hero coming on the tour here. The crowd picking up the chant, Pete, Pete, Pete.
Well, it's good for bowling, and many of these fans have been here year after year after year. They feel very comfortable coming down to the championship round, and they pick a favorite route for him. You can't blame them for that.
And they recognize that name, don't they?
Yes, they do.
But Mattingly stayed up at the line an extra moment or two. And you look at him and you ask yourself, does he know why he did that, or is he trying to figure out why he did that?
I think only he can answer that question. Jeffrey was using a hard plastic ball in practice, has switched to a urethane ball. For what reason, only he knows. We'll see what happens later on in the match.
And it's 2 in a row. This is almost unheard of. Almost unheard of. But no curve on the ball at all. Try to throw it absolutely straight, almost like we used to call the old backup ball.
I agree, David, but actually that is probably the best percentage of making spares, but Jeffrey's probably, his blood pressure went up about 80 points when he slid by that second one. He threw too much hook on the first one, tried to compensate on that, slid by. He's only got 18 in the second frame.
You got to wake up. And pulled it too much, got on the Brooklyn side.
Well, Jeff is in what the players call possible buzzard position, David. If you get 3 strikes in a row, we call it a turkey, but if you get 3 opens in a row, we call it a buzzard. If he would happen to miss here, he would have the first buzzard of the season on the Pro Bowlers Tour.
It's not funny, but he's managing a smile. He's a class gentleman.
Jeff Mattingly gets that ball well out over the foul line, hand underneath it, and very much like Bellinger, lofts the ball out about 2.5, 3 feet on the lane, and he uses that to delay the hook. It keeps the ball from breaking too quickly.
It's almost as though he's pitching it out there.
Well, he has that low profile, and he is underneath the ball with those powerful forearms. He does lift it out with his wrist, though. You don't want to just throw it out. To release the young Pete Weber, watch the great wrist action. Watch that hand. Now see where that wrist is? Perfect shot right there. And the hand and wrist rotate around the ball That imparts the many revolutions. He gets up to 15 on some shots. That's what eats up the pins and gets the good hook, David.
Pete Weber, 19 years old. I don't even remember being 19.
Sometimes I still think you are 19, David, even though I know you're maybe even pushing 50 now.
From which side? Pete Weber is on